I am not a terrorist. I am not Antifa. I am not a sex slave that wears masks. I am not into sadomasochism and bondage.
Okay. Ma'am, do you know this is a Wendy's, right? Kidding. Wow. Okay. Look, that's part of a disturbing rant by a obvious Trump supporting woman that had happened at a Ventura County Board of Supervisors meeting. Now, this woman, identified as Deb Baber, railed against a new requirement to wear face masks inside businesses and government offices, on public transit, and in most other indoor locations open to the public. So understand, this is a sweeping rule that has been informed by, of course, increased spikes in coronavirus cases. I mean, look, California has had a spike. Arizona, right now, the healthcare system in Arizona has been basically overwhelmed by the spike in coronavirus cases. You also have cases in Florida, many other places. One of the places, and we can be proud of that, Michigan, we actually have a gigantic decrease in cases, thanks to, of course, Governor Gretchen Whitmer. So she actually has done a pretty good job in slowing the amount of the increases of cases of coronavirus in our state. So good on her, right? Now, I want to show you more of this rant because it goes on for quite some time, and it's just full of ignorance. So I'll show you and then I'll break it down.
Are you going to be wearing masks when you come in? Are you going to obey that city? And if not, then how in the world are you expecting any of us to obey anything that you say? I protest face coverings. I am a healthy American. I used to be free. I am not a terrorist. I am not Antifa. I am not a sex slave that wears masks. I am not into sadomasochism and bondage. I am not a burglar. I am not a pandering politician like we see here and here and here and here. I am a proud Trump Republican yearning to be free again. Who are you, victim or victor? If you are offended by anything I have said, by the masses of people, then I am offended by the masses of people who do not question your wholesale slaughter of our constitutional and inalienable rights. Shame on all of you. Let liberty ring. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her.
Oh my God. I'm sorry. I lost it when she started singing. Wow. She even brought props, guys. Like the bell. Like, oh no, she had the whole poster board pointing to Antifa and terrorism. I'm sorry. That was great. So much crazy here. Okay. So I bring it down. I got to bring it down here. That went on for a while. By the way, she sung a lot of that song, and they let her do it, man. Hey, she had her times. All right. So now let me get to some serious points here, right? For one, masks. Look, masks aren't there to protect you, right? They're there to protect everyone from you. So to say like, I'm a healthy American, why do I need a mask? You're kind of missing the point. All right. I mean, look, people who spread this virus, right? The ones who spread it the most are those who are asymptomatic, right? You don't have to show symptoms in order to spread this virus, which is incredibly virulent, right? You could have it, be, and feel completely healthy and fine and spread it to other people. That's the problem. That's why you should wear masks in public, not just in enclosed spaces, but actually the CDC recommends that you should be wearing masks basically whenever you're out in a public space. And I know the CDC is like, well, you know, we're going to change our mask guidelines. And look, they weren't honest with us at the beginning, right? Because they wanted to make sure, and it's a good reason, they wanted to make sure that medical professionals had masks, enough masks as well, because what we had is a PPE shortage, right? Later on, they revised it to make sure that more people wear masks. And then they revised it again, of course, to say that, no, everybody needs to wear masks, not just inside, but also in other places, to make sure that we limit the spread of the virus. Because according to research, wearing face masks in public has corresponded to the most effective means to prevent transmission of the virus. Why? Because it spreads through water droplets, right? Water droplets, they're not going to get through that mask on either way. And so when you have everyone that wear that's wearing masks, I think you can reduce the amount of the possibility of transmission by like 95%, which is pretty good, I would say. And then, of course, you combine that with physical distancing limits and quarantine and contact tracing. That's the way to slow and eventually stop the virus. And so now the researchers also calculated that wearing face masks had prevented the more than 78,000 infections in Italy between April 6th and May 9th, and more than 66,000 infections in New York City between April 17th and May 9th. Masks work. Simply put, masks work. Now, if you don't believe this, you don't want to believe this, you're deeply ignorant, and you're not at all interested in expert opinion. You think that you are an expert, right? And not only are these people ignorant, but they're also, look, incredibly selfish. You are literally putting other people at risk. Hey, she says, I am not a terrorist. I don't know about that. I mean, I don't know. But seriously, though, please wear a mask. Have some empathy, right, for your fellow human beings. Again, these people like her, are acting like caring about your neighbor and your community is some sort of horrible thing. It's the erosion. You're stomping, you're shredding the Constitution by forcing me to wear a mask. But in reality, masks at the most are mainly inconvenient, right? And can be uncomfortable. I get it, right? I don't like masks. My nose itches like whenever I wear a mask. It sucks. And sometimes, yeah, it feels like some people have problems with breathing through the mask. Even though technically you are breathing through the mask, it's that psychological issue. I get it. I get all of that. And I completely understand that. But again, a lot of people who have those similar problems and have those similar feelings, they still, and I hate to use this phrase, but they still man up and put the mask on because they actually care about their fellow human beings. And that's the issue, right? Wearing a mask is necessary. But again, the conservatives, like these people, they think it's the end of America, it's the end of freedom, the end of everything good and just and pure. And they feel that way, I think, because they haven't actually experienced real oppression. They don't know what real oppression is. It's all about me. That's all I care about. And ironically, these are the people that will ensure that the rest of us are going to have to still wear masks and socially distance or physically distance for even longer than we should have to, because we're not going to be able to contain the virus thanks to these deeply ignorant, selfish people. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know how I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.